Hey everyone, today we're going to get into our first lesson in DaVinci Resolve. So let's look at the assignment. It's in the modules here. Modules, DaVinci Resolve, Second Impressions. So you're going to open that. Here's our objective. Students will learn fundamental techniques in DaVinci Resolve, including importing media, basic color correction, placing audio on the timeline, using the Fairlight audio tools for basic audio editing and mixing. What you're going to need is a computer with DaVinci Resolve installed, sample video clips, which I'm going to give you, audio tracks, which I'm going to give you, project files, which is also in the package, the video instruction, which is what I'm creating for you right now and will be available via a link in this lesson, and the media. So the media, all of this media is here. So we're going to click this, and I'm going to actually control click it, open link in new tab. And that's going to take you to the download page. You're going to download that. I've already downloaded it. Once you've downloaded that, it's going to show up in your downloads folder. Once you have gone to your downloads folder, then you're going to go into that folder and grab those files and put them in your G drive or your portable drive, if whatever you're using. And in that drive, you're going to create a folder called RTVF30 Fall 24. That's where you're going to keep all your projects for this class. Then make a folder called Second Impressions and put all the content in there. You're going to see this first, this zip. This is a thing you're transferring over. You're going to control click that, open with, archive utility, and it will expand into this folder here. The folder has the effect sounds for the cell phone and the alarm clock, and it's also got all the sounds from the scene. Okay, the movie is here, and that's everything that you're going to need. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's create a new project and go over the interface. So I'm just going to go to my search, Spotlight search, and type in DaVinci Resolve. Here it is here. Click that and it will launch DaVinci Resolve for you. You can always look in your dock if it's in the dock, but if it's not in the dock or if it's in application still, just use the Spotlight search. It's a quick, easy way to get to pretty much any software. Makes it nice and easy to find and to launch really quickly. So DaVinci Resolve will take a second to load up. And once it does, it's going to look like this. Now yours won't look like this because you'll not have a library, okay? So you're going to want to, first things first, create a new library. So see where it says projects here? Open that up. Here's your libraries. So all of these contents, all these videos I've made, oh, you see that it's scanning my plugins. So ignore that. You won't see that. Okay, so currently I am working in my local database. And if I click this I here, it's going to show me where I'm saving this to. Watch this. Reveal in Finder. Resolve projects. Okay, so that's not where I want to be saving things. Location, user, my name, and my library. So you do not want to save in the users. You want to save onto your drive. Okay, so I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add a project library. And let me just get this out of the way. Okay, so now that we've hit Add Project Library, you're going to name it. And I'm going to call this RTVF Fall 24. Next step is hit Browse for location. In this location, I'm going to go to my portable drive, my G Drive SSD, and I'm actually going to save it within this RTVF30 Fall 24 folder. Open. Now it's in the right place. Create. Now I have a brand new library saved to my external drive where I can always access all these projects. And then I'm also going to show you how to archive and save all your work so it's all backed up. Okay, so now we can say new project, title it, Second Impressions, hit create, and DaVinci opens up. Okay, so here is DaVinci Resolve. Let's start with these tabs down here, okay? So first tab is the media tab. This media tab allows you to access media on your computer, your external drives, all kinds of things. So what we're going to do is go right into this external G drive here, and let's see if we could find the folder. There it is. Okay, so now we've got the Second Impressions folder right here. Okay, now I'm going to grab and open that. And here are all the folders from that actual project. So I'm going to drag those. Oops, I'm going to click those. Sorry, I'm going to click those and drag them into here, into the master bin. And look at this. It kept my file structure and everything. You'll learn more about setting up the bins and all the file structures and stuff later. But right now I got my effects, my alarm clock, my cell phone. I've got all the effects here. The bell. And when you click into a bin, bins are... So this bin area here that I just pulled the project down into, this is where you can organize all of your content for a project. You'll learn more about how to do that in another lesson, but for now we just drag this whole folder and all of our file structure is here. So we're looking good. We've got our bins all organized already for us. Okay, so one of the cool things is you could click in the effects and you can scrub over here and it will let you hear. You just hold it over and pull it over. Okay, same here. Here's the ocean, water ocean sounds. So it's great because you can actually preview that and then here's your movie file. So this is a nice example of how to organize all your assets for any given project. Okay, so now we've got the content in there. We'll go to the cut. And then this is actually going to show us our different bins here. Okay, so if you just pull down here, you can actually go between the different bins. That's nothing. That's just a file there. So here's all your effects and here's your movie. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is import our movie into the timeline. So we're going to drag this right into the timeline like this. Now this cut page just basically allows us to trim the top of any clip. We don't need to trim this, so we're looking pretty good. We're going to go to the Edit tab now. Now you see like a traditional timeline here. Over here is an inspector. We'll get to that. Here are our contents or all our assets. And now we can actually just click them here and access them in this side window. Okay. So down here in our timeline, there's a couple ways to zoom in, and one is with this little thing. You can just grab it and slide it. But another way is with the command plus minus on your keyboard. Okay, and that allows you to zoom in like that. Another interesting way to do is to press Shift Z, and that'll make any selected clip a little bigger or change the actual zoom. So there's a few ways to zoom. I like using the command plus minus. It's a nice, quick, easy way to zoom in on the timeline. Another thing you could do is you can come in here and pull these open and make them a little bigger or smaller. Okay, cool. So now we have our movie in. Let's go back here and look at this. So we created a new project. We're looking at the interface as we go. So you've seen the media pool. Now we're in the timeline. Okay. Let's listen to this a little bit and then figure out what media to import. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm creating, I have a shortcut, which is on all Macs, which is Command Tab. And that allows me to go between different open things on my computer, like Google and DaVinci and anything else you might have open. It's a nice quick shortcut. What you can do is have this tutorial lesson playing, and you could switch between your Google, where you're on YouTube, and your Camtasia, or I'm sorry, your DaVinci Resolve, by just pressing Command Tab. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It's a very short movie.
That is crazy. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
Oh. Okay. What about swimming with sharks?
Do I get a shark cage? Okay, how big of a shark are we talking about here?
Open water. Man eater. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off.
Okay, so right here,
Oh, sorry.
she's like, oh, sorry, let me turn this off. And there's a cell phone about to come
sorry. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's my mom.
out. Okay,
Oh, sorry. Let me.
so right here, look at our timeline. We have two timelines going on here. So don't be confused by this. This is a baked-in timeline to the video. Okay, so 15 frames, 14 seconds, 3 minutes, because this video is from a larger movie. In our DaVinci timeline, we're at 24 seconds and 2 frames. Okay, so at 24 seconds and 2 frames, we want to add the cell phone sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a marker. Okay, and that's going to be, oops, you know what? Let me Command Z that. I was selected on the actual region here, so it created a marker on the region. I want to make a marker here in the timeline. Okay, and I'm going to double click that marker and name it cell phone sound. Okay, so we're going to add the cell phone sound there. So let's keep going.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's my mom. Hello? Oh. Sure. I can send those right away. Oh. Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files. The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get up early in the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
I know.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I had a really good time.
I did too.
Okay.
Hey, what time is your presentation over, you think?
Well, it's the morning, so.
Well, how about lunch after? You can tell me how it went.
Okay. How about noon? I'll pick you up at your place.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Okay, now we've switched scenes. And it's time to wake up, so we have an alarm sound. Okay, so right where that scene switches, I'm going to zoom in, Command plus. Now, I'm going to try to find the spot a little better. So I'm going to press use J, K, and L keys to go backwards or forwards for J and L, and K is going to stop. Right there. So you can use J, K, and L to go backwards, K to stop, L to go forwards, and stop there. If you go twice on J or more than once, it speeds up. Twice on L, and it speeds up. Okay? So we can get pretty close to that little move there. Now we're going to add another marker, double click it, call it alarm. Alarm clock sound. Okay? So now we've got two markers for sounds, and let's go ahead into the alarm clock and the cell phone and get those into the timeline. So there's a couple ways we could do this. Pretty easy. What I want you to do is double click this cell phone, and look what it did. It opened it up here in the timeline. Okay? Or I'm sorry, in the viewer. In the viewer here. Okay. So we can actually scrub through J, K, and L just like that in here. Okay. So it looks like it starts right away, but then there's some extra silence at the end. So I'm going to press L. And right where the sound stops, I'm going to press O for out. O. And that marks the in and out point. Okay. Now I'm going to place this timeline playhead here on this marker. Come back to the cell phone. Double click it. And this region that we have selected here is going to go in here underneath. So we can actually just grab it and pull it and place it right there. That's one way to do it. There's a bunch of ways to get stuff into the timeline. Okay, so now we've got two audio tracks. We don't want to get confused. Okay, so we're going to call this dialogue. By double clicking, you're going to rename it. Slide in there. We're going to call this FX1. Okay. And now, if we go back with J and forward with L.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off.
There you go. You have a cell phone right in there. Okay, now we're going to go to the next marker. So I'm just using my magic mouse to slide through the timeline. You can grab this and pull it. If you're using a trackpad, you could just slide left to right with two fingers. Okay, so I'm going to click right above that marker, and this is where our alarm clock is going to go. So I'm going to double click the alarm clock, and we're going to find, okay, looks like that alarm clock starts right at the top. That's a long alarm clock, so I'm going to make it a little shorter. Maybe half of that. So I'm going to press O for out. It automatically makes an in point. And now it's made an out point. So I can now drag that little section down to my FX1 track. J to come back, L to play. Okay. Now that's kind of abrupt the way it ends there. So I'm going to actually come in here. And I'm going to grab this little nod right here. This thing is like, if you slide it over, it's a fade. Put it in the timeline here. Play. Okay, just to add a nice little fade in there. And you can do that as subtly or as sharply as you'd like. So, okay. Just to give it a little softer ending there and to show you how to do a fade, basically. Cool. So now I'm going to press Shift Z and I go back to this zoom level. And I'm going to go to some effects and look at what we have here. So we have some seagulls. I like this ocean water. Let's double click that. And this has like a surround effect on it, it looks like. So what I'm going to do actually is drag this. Oh, let me show you how to do this. So I'm going to select the FX1 clip, or I'm sorry, track. And right here, I'm going to say add track. So you just control click, add track, stereo. And I created a new track right here. I'm going to call that FX2. And I'm going to drop the ocean sounds into that effects track. All right. So you can make a track from scratch, or you can drag stuff in. Now this has like a surround sound type of thing on it. Let's see what it's doing here. Okay, what if we want to hear just this audio 8? Let's listen to that. We're going to press S for solo. Look at that. There's no sound. So I'm going to select this, Command X, Control click this, and delete this track because we don't need it. Let's listen to this one. Solo it. Let's solo this one.
Do I get a shark cage? Okay, how big of a shark?
Okay, so it's kind of cool. It adds a whole lot of different sounds to it. You notice here that this is my FX2, but it has a lot of different tracks to it. Okay, so there's different ways we can deal with that, which we will approach later, but it's taking up a lot of real estate. So what I'm going to do is slide this up here. You hover until you see this little thing, and I'm going to slide that there, and then I'm going to come into the inspector, and that by closing this inspector, it puts my movie here. So I can still see it, but I don't have to have it, you know, such a big window here. Okay. And then, so that just created more space for the movie to go over here. So let's go ahead and check out the bird sounds now. Let's find those bird seagulls. Okay. So we'll add those seagull sounds really quick. So I'm going to actually go in below FX1, control click right here, add a stereo track, and call it the seagulls. Bird seagull. I'm going to grab this, and it looks like we're just going to pull that whole thing in and see what that's all about. Okay, let's go back to home to the top.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. No parachutes.
So those birds are annoying. They're so incredibly loud. And maybe we don't want those at the beginning, so we'll slide those over after the cell phone. Now look at this right here. Here's a little trick. See how that turns into two arrows up and down? And if you click and hold, it says 0.00 dB. You can pull this down and decrease the level of that clip. Okay. Okay, so let's go here.
Hello?
Still too loud, so I'm going to pull it down some more.
Sure. I can send those right away.
Okay, so it's just too loud. Let's go way down.
Yes.
Everything all right?
I'm sorry, it's my boss. I have to send these files.
Okay, so obviously we're going to have to fix this dialogue later. But one thing you can do is hold Option and drag and let go of the mouse where you want to place it, and then let go of Option. So you're going to Option drag this clip and make it longer. And then let's drag it over even one more time. And then we're going to grab the end of this here, like there. At the bottom right, you can grab the end and trim it in. Okay. Now we're going to fade this in here. We're going to fade this out here. And here it is. Okay, right now the water is pretty loud, I think. So I actually want to turn all that down. I'm going to click this first one and then shift click the bottom one. then I'm going to go into the inspector and I'm going to decrease the volume on all these tracks at once.
Hello? Oh,
That is a cool feature right there. Okay, close the inspector, movie's back over here. We're looking pretty good. All right, so now what we want to do is come into our Fusion. I'm going to show you this media in, media out. This is an interesting window, which we're not going to deal with right now, but there's a lot going on in there. Now let's skip over here to color. There's also a lot going on in this color, but if I come back to edit and I select the movie and I go to color, you can actually go to color and say auto color. Okay. If you click that, it's going to actually adjust the color of the movie. See that? So if I Command Z, it looks kind of soft and washed out or whatever. If I do auto color, it kind of sharpens all of the images. Now if I come back to edit and I come over here, oops, I can actually zoom in with my magic mouse, but I'm not trying to do that. So let's open up the inspector. Let's draw this back down here. Get a little bigger image. Okay, you could do that with the scrolly wheel. Just in case that isn't going to work for you, you could just pull this area down and see the movie bigger. And it looks a little sharper.
sure. I can send those right away.
The skin colors are a little better. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the color. You got color wheels. You've got this whole custom curves that you can do. You can actually accentuate certain parts by adding points and brightening things or darkening things. You can actually create S curves in here. So there's a lot you can do with just these curves and these wheels. But I'm going to undo all that, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, and leave the auto color as it was. There's another fun thing too. You can actually control the exposure and contrast here by sliding those around. Okay, so really all I wanted to show you was the auto color. And that is here, auto color. Okay. Next, and the most important part of all this is the Fairlight. So now I'm going to pull this out. So when we're in Fairlight, we're basically in like a DAW. And this is our mixer. So if you grab here and pull that out, you're going to see all of our tracks. Okay. So all of these audio ones are under the FX2 from here to here. Here's our birds. Here's our FX1, you know, the cell phone and the alarm clock. And here's our dialogue. Let's check this out a little bit.
Yes.
Everything all right?
Yes.
So if you're looking at these levels here, these are the individual track levels. Look up here. This is the overall loudness level.
Sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files. The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jaworski?
So wow.
So our levels are pretty low right now. Okay. We can definitely get a little more sound out of this. The first thing we want to do is dialogue. Now let me show you one of the goals here. So introduction to Fairlight, basic audio concepts. So audio terminology like levels, EQ, and dynamics. Okay. So we want to adjust the levels and we want to maybe trim or cut some audio clips. We'll look at that. But mostly it's levels and then using the mixer to apply basic effects. Okay. So what is the difference between level, EQ, and dynamics? So here is a level. So you can actually, we adjusted levels right in the timeline on the level here and in the inspector already. I like to do that so that all of these faders are at unity, which is, we call that unity when it's at 0. What I don't typically do is just raise up this fader, but you can watch.
Yeah, so I have to get up early in the morning.
See that? It makes it louder and you can make it quieter. So let's say the seagulls are still too loud.
Really? You have to leave me right now.
We can adjust those down. And the water might be a little loud too. So we can pull these faders down. And the amount you're pulling it down is represented here. And now it should be quieter.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry. Man eater.
Okay, that's a little too extreme. It wasn't really that loud because we've already pulled it down. I'm just showing you that you can change the level here. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off.
All right, so now the main thing that we need to focus on is the dialogue because the dialogue's pretty quiet, and then we can make the background sound a little more impressive. So first steps first, we've looked at the fader. This is called a fader, and that adjusts the output level. Okay, from the top here, we have an input if we're going to record. We have track effects, which we're not going to actually utilize. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We are going to utilize. We're going to turn that on. What am I saying there? So we're going to turn on the track effects. And then the order that we have is effects, dynamics, and then EQ. And we can change the order of our different processing. So we could say dynamics, then EQ, then effects. And it changes the order of our effects. What's super cool here is you have a whole channel strip, just like a mixing console. So the first thing we could do is add an effect by clicking in here. And I'm going to go to, let's find a tool like, actually, I'm going to use the built-in channel Fairlight dialogue processor. Okay, and that opens up a whole dialogue processor. Let me show you how I got there again. So you're clicking in this effects plus, and then, oops, sorry. Going down to channel, Fairlight dialogue processor. Okay, if you close it, you just click here in the middle again, and it opens. You can close it here and open it here. Okay, so the dialogue processor has a lot of features. It also has some presets. Well, they are both on the same track, aren't they? So the problem is we can't mix them separately unless we split their tracks. So we could come back, home, press L to listen.
Crazy. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
So they're pretty tight. They talk over each other and stuff. We could split these up into their own tracks, but for this lesson, we're not going to do that. Just to show you, well, should I show you?
Okay.
Yeah, they cross over too much. I'm not going to split that off. So I'm going to open this dialogue processor, and everything is currently on. If you don't want to use something, you turn it off with this button. What's going on here? D-rumble, D-pop, DS, compressor, expander, excite. Okay? So
What about
let's try male VO and see what it does.
sharks?
Do I get a shark cage?
Okay, now it's hard to tell with everything else going on. So let's solo the dialogue. Solo means you're going to listen to just that track.
Okay, how big of a shark are we talking about here?
Open water.
Okay, now I want to hear it without that. I want to go to female vocal.
Man eater. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's my phone.
Okay, that's interesting. It's working a little bit. Let's get a little more threshold on the expander, the gate.
Hello? Oh,
Let's work this.
sure. I can send those right away. Oh.
Okay, that's subtle. Subtle. Let's come over with the threshold.
Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files. The meeting's been moved.
Now it's not really engaging a lot because the level's kind of low. So let's go back in here and delete the plugin. we're going to click this, and I'm going to look for something more like let's see, where is the gain one? Okay, so I don't see the basic gain tool. Let's find that. Reverb restoration. Nope. Trying to remember where this is. Guess they don't have a gain. Let's try this vocal channel. Does this give us a gain here? I like this vocal channel better. Gives me a little more control over the EQ and the dynamic compression here, but it's still not giving me a good gain except for output gain. So let's try that and see what this can do.
To the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Let's turn the high pass on.
Yeah, so I have to get up early
That's pretty
in
nice.
the morning.
Really?
Low frequency.
You have to
Let's
leave me
slide
right
this
now.
up.
Oh, man.
Again,
To
I'm
205?
sorry.
Tomorrow.
Let's
know.
increase the
Hey,
gain.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Let's get a
Had a
little
really good
fullness.
time.
I did too.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to five.
Hey, what time is your presentation over, you think?
500 here
That's the morning,
on the mid
so-
frequency.
Well, how about
Bruce
lunch
Saddle.
after? You can tell me how it went.
I'm gonna make that narrow.
Okay. How about noon? I'll pick you up at your place.
It's still a little dark sounding, so I'm actually gonna go in and add a little bit of 10K. So I'm sliding over here. I can also put in 10K, 10,000. Gain it up. That's a nice little shelf.
Okay, how big of a shark are we talking about here?
Open water. Man eater.
Here's without it.
Sorry, let me turn this off. Oh, it's my phone. Hello? Oh. Sure. I can send those right away.
You can pull this over.
Oh. Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files. The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Let's pull this down.
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get up early
Here's without it.
in the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I add a little fullness in the bottom, a little mid-range presence, and a little high end to make it cut through a little bit. Now I'm going to add this compressor by turning it on.
Again, I'm sorry.
I'm going to watch over here,
Oh,
Hey, yeah, don't worry about it.
decrease the threshold.
I had a really good time.
I did too.
Okay, here's my gain reduction. I don't want it to go over like 3 here. And let's go like with a 2-to-1.
Do I get a shark cage? Okay, how big of a shark are we talking about here?
Open water.
So if you look here, I'm getting closer to 0 as I go up this way, which means it'll compress less.
Man eater. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's my phone.
Okay, so I'm getting a little gain reduction.
Hello? Oh. Sure. I can send those right away.
Now I'm going to get a little overall gain on the output.
Oh. Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files.
Gain the threshold down a
The
little
meeting's been
bit.
moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
So now I'll turn it off and listen to it with and without just to make sure it's better.
Yeah, so I have to get up early in the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
I know.
Hey, yeah, don't worry about it.
So see how much fuller and more present it sounds, and then also the louder laughing and stuff gets evened out. So if you can just copy my settings here and play with these knobs to hear, or these buttons to hear on and off, you'll be able to hear it hopefully. And we'll go over what all these things do a little more later, but this is an EQ. I'm cutting out some lows with this high pass. With the EQ here, I'm boosting a little bit of lows. And actually, let's put that on a bell. I'm boosting a lot of lows. Let's boost less. That was a little too much. And here in the mids, I'm boosting with a narrow bell. And here I'm boosting a high gain, high frequency gain. Actually, yep, there we go, 6,500 with a shelf. I'll go into what all these things mean a little more in detail later. I'm compressing, and how you use a compressor is tricky, but I'm adjusting the threshold and the ratio and the gain to adjust the amount of compression to even out the dialogue. Okay.
I had a really good time. What's up? Oh, it's my mom.
Now it's still.
Hello? Oh. Sure. I can send those right away. Oh.
We can still get level out of this. So now I'm going to actually come over here and gain this up this way by sliding that. And look at this. There's another way to do this. You select this track. See how it's red highlighted? Go into the inspector and you can gain it up here. Watch what happens to the waveform as I gain this up. It gets bigger, right? Okay, we don't want to go too far.
Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. I have to send these files.
That's a lot better. Okay, so now let's look at what our plugin's doing.
The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Okay, that fed a little more signal into the compressor, so I'm going to reduce this a little.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Reduce this.
Yeah, so I have to get up early.
Okay, so here's without
In the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now.
and with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so when he laughs really loud right there, it really...
We're on.
You're awesome.
Am I? Oh, man.
This, we don't want this going into the red. So let's increase the ratio a little. Decrease this gain just a hair. And try it again. So I'm using J, K, and L to move around the timeline.
Am I? Oh, man.
Again.
Okay, it's not quite so loud. It's still hitting the red a little, so we can figure that out as we do more dialogue and look at the overall. But there's just a little bit about using the vocal channel. And what that does is it gives us this dynamics, but all in one channel. There's one other thing that this dynamic processor gives you. Let's turn it on and let's limit so we can get rid of that laugh a little bit. So we'll turn the limiter on, press L,
I know.
and play.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm so awesome.
Am I? Oh, man.
Look at that. So that limiter just pulled down that clipping.
Am I?
Here's the gain reduction. Here's our level.
Oh, man.
Okay. Kind of nice. So now we could take that with the limiter and actually increase the output, the makeup gain, and get even more level.
Again, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
I know.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I had a really good time.
I did too.
Okay. So now we already EQ'd it, but this EQ is in here as well. So you can do those individually or within one of the channel strips like I used here, like the dialogue leveler. Let's unsolo that, go home to the top and listen again.
Wait, amazing. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
Oh. Okay. What about swimming with sharks?
Do I get a shark cage? Okay, how big of a shark are we talking about here?
Open.
Now that our dialogue's so much louder, we can actually turn up some of our water sounds.
Open water. Man eater. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off.
That actually is a pretty good level. Let's listen to this one. Okay, that's okay level. We can adjust that individual clip if we want to, but I think it's fine. Okay, cool. So one last thing we could do with, we don't really need to do any processing on any of these sounds, but we can go to our bus, which is our main output, and then we can actually load in a mastering plugin. Actually, I only have, nope, I lied. I only have outboard third-party mastering plugins. So I'm going to use a soft clipper from the Fairlight Effects. So Dynamics, Fairlight Effects, soft clipper. Let's slide this over, go home.
That is crazy. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
Oh. Okay. What about swimming with sharks?
Do I get a shark cage?
Okay. I had to pull it all the way to -18 to get it to engage because I'm not having a whole lot of crazy sounds. It's just dialogue.
Okay, how big of a shark are we
But now it's reducing a lot. So I'm going to pull that up.
talking about here?
Open water. Man eater. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off.
Okay, watch this. Turn up the output level.
Oh, it's my phone. Hello? Oh. Sure. I can send those right away. Oh. Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. And I have to send these files.
Okay, so now it's getting pretty strong. Let's go ahead and turn all that off and listen without both of those.
The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get up early.
Pretty big difference already. Now this isn't using any effects or anything, but we could go to the dialogue now that I'm thinking about it and load in a little bit of reverb. Wonder what we could do with that. Can we make it sound kind of outside? Small theater maybe? Okay, now that's insane. So we just need just a touch. So we're going to adjust the dry wet.
Billy, you have to leave me right now. Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry.
No, that sounds dumb, right? Because it sounds like they're inside a theater. Let's add vocal width.
I know.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I had a really good time.
I did too. Hey, what time is your present?
Okay, so none of that really makes sense, but I just wanted to show you that you could add a cool reverb effect if you wanted. So I'm going to delete that plugin. Again, we're experimenting, we're trying things, and I think we're looking pretty good. So next, we're going to export this project, okay, and turn it in. So let's go into the edit. I'm going to slide this back up. Go back to the top with the home key and press I for in. And now I'm going to go to the end and see, do we need to trim anything or anything?
Okay, we're not going to do anything better than that.
All right, so there's a little edit that we need to make at the end here, right?
Okay, we're not going to do anything better.
What's that sound supposed to be? What's he hear there? Maybe there needs to be some city underneath this clip. Select there, select this, do Command B. Select that, Command X. Let's put this in here. Too much of a fade here. No, that's dumb. Delete that. What is he here? Yeah, I don't know what he's supposed to be hearing there because he looks pretty shocked. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to select these tracks, Command B, blade, tool, split, basically by the playhead. Select these clips, Command X, get rid of them. And then I'm actually going to come and fade this audio and fade this video a little. There we go. Now we have a nice smooth ending. Now this is the out point, so we're going to press O here. So let me give you a song, and I'm going to show you how to do this actually. So what we're going to do right now is everything is saved right where you saved it originally. Okay, you don't save in DaVinci. So we're going to go deliver. We know it's saved, but we're going to call it, what's this called again? Second Impressions. Export for music. We're going to switch or choose browse and say where we want it to go. So in your hard drive, in your music, or RTVF30 Fall 24, Second Impressions project, save. We're going to be on video, render, video QuickTime H.264. We could do H.265 as well. Let's do 264, that's fine. 1920 by 1080, you can choose your resolution. Frame rate, we don't want to change that, but we could export a different frame rate. Quality is automatic for now. And everything else we want to leave. What we're going to do is add to render queue, and it shows up over here. Then we say render all, and it's going to render our movie with all of our soundtrack in here and our nice little auto color. Cool. Now I'm going to go back to the Finder, and in Second Impressions, here it is, export for movie. I'm going to click it once and hit the space bar and preview it.
That is crazy. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
Oh. Okay. What about...
What are we talking about?
All right, let me turn this up.
Okay, so there it is. That's our movie. I just previewed it. Now I'm going to go into media. Right here. And just check out everything I have. Everything's looking good. I want to go into... let's see. Actually, no, I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to just close file. Close the project. Here's my movie. Now I'm going to keep this open, but I'm moving it to my other screen really quick. And now I'm going to go into, let's see. What's it trying to do? There's a warning somewhere, right? Close. There we go. Close that. Now I'm going to go into Logic Pro. And the fun part here is that we're going to add some nice romantic piano. We're going to create an empty project. I'm not going to worry about any of this stuff right now because what we want to do is say choose. In here, I'm not going to worry about any of this yet. Just say create. Now we're going to save Command S. Second impression soundtrack. This also has to go in the same folder. Everything should go together. All of your assets should go into the same folder together. We're going to be a folder, audio files, and we're going to select movie file. Copy the movie file into this project. We're going to go back to our Finder, Command Tab, and watch this. We're going to actually just drag this movie right to the top of the timeline. Open the movie, extract the audio. Right there, our frame rates don't match. Let's use the existing frame rate. Here's our movie. Here's the soundtrack. Here's the movie. I'm going to close that, and it puts it over here for us. Now I'm going to go in here to loops. And in the loops library, this little ribbon looking thing, that's the loops browser. Okay, and in the loops browser, you will, as soon as it's finished indexing, we're going to have access to a bunch of cool loops and sounds. And we're just going to drop one in there and make a little music soundtrack for this. So I'm going to go instrument and let's see, piano. Not electric piano, but I'm just going to go search for piano. Okay, there's a bunch of piano, probably not a 70s thing. Black tie piano, block chords, blues bar, Brazilian, by the fire piano. Let's hear what this one sounds like. I'm actually going to lower this volume just so it doesn't blow out. Oops, you get the idea. So you could just click through and preview all of these different piano pieces. Okay, it's kind of neat, right? So I kind of like, you could choose any one you want. You pick your own music and you just drag it right into the timeline, into an empty region, empty track. Okay, now let's go back to the top, return, spacebar to play.
That is crazy. I would never jump out of a plane.
Well, no one just jumps out of a plane. They have parachutes.
Oh. Okay. What about swimming with sharks?
Okay, it's a little too much going on there. Let's slide this over.
Do I get a shark cage? Okay, how big of a shark are we
Maybe it starts after the whole show.
talking about here?
Open one. Hello?
Let's start.
Oh. Sure. I can send those right away. Oh.
So I'm just grabbing it and sliding it down to the timeline.
Yes.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's my boss. And I have to send these files. The meeting's been moved to the morning.
Tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Okay, he's about to ask her out. So
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to...
okay, let's put it in the space here.
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get up early in the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now. Oh, man.
Again, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, of course, you could pick any piano piece you want. Now I'm going to hold Option and drag this over and add a longer piece.
I know.
Hey, yeah, don't worry about it.
I had a really good time.
I did too. Hey, what time is your presentation over, you think?
Well, it's the morning, so.
Okay, needs to go one more. So now I'm going to select this one and do Command R.
Well, how about lunch after?
Command R is going to make another copy.
You can tell me how it went.
Okay. How about noon? I'll be good at your place.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Okay, now we need to end it before that rings there. So we're going to Command down arrow, right arrow, and zoom. Grab the end of this, pull it over before this alarm clock. And actually, I'm going to pull it over just a hair and fade it. So now this is different. We're going to go into this tool here, click this thing, and say Fade Tool, and drag here, and it puts a fade in. Click this, go back to pointer, and that fades out the audio on the music. That's really all it needs. So Command left arrow, or click these two guys, and you can see everything in the region area here. Let's close the loops, and now we have a little bit of music to add some.
The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
That's kind of cool, but I want to do a fade in. So Fade Tool, slide that right there. Maybe even give it a little angle so it's a little subtler. Drop the playhead here.
Hey, tomorrow? The Jawalski?
Zawalski.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get up early.
So you have a nice little fade in there. Go back to their pointer tool. Okay. So now we've added music, and you can add any piano piece or music you want. And now we're going to Command A, select all. Okay. And we're going to go to File, Movie, Export Audio to Movie, and rename this with music. Still going to be in that same folder. And we're going to save it. Don't check this box. Say OK. And it's going to export the movie with the music. Control click this title. Go to the folder. Here it is with music. Hit the space bar. Jump ahead.
I have to send morning. Yeah, so I have to get up early in the morning.
Really? You have to leave me right now. Oh, man.
Again.
And this should have the fade out. There we go. That's the finished thing, what you could turn in. Now that you've done this, let's save it again. Go File, Close Project.